Either way, the fucking human body's fucking evolved. So now you are fucking gray. You're missing digits. Your eyes are getting big. Now we have to keep taking these supplements and stuff because we're not getting them naturally. And now what happens? You're still living. Your brain is still going. You may still be intelligent. But your body naturally that needs real plant life, that needs real animal life as sustenance. Now you become spindly. You become fucking, big head, skinny neck, Ethiopian body. Now, we got this constant technology flow. So where everybody's more intelligent than, the next generation. We get that. But our hair is going to be gone because we really don't need it because we have air temperature control everywhere. Now we can't fucking the carbon dioxide, from breathing it in, constant maskage. That is proven the reason why we don't have giants right now is because of the lack of fucking, the more carbon dioxide and less oxygen in the air. So the people shrink. So you think about what the fuck do you got left? You have a gray alien after not even 10 years of evolution if shit goes at the worst.
No, evolution
this is worst case scenario.
Not 10 years. It'll be longer than 10 years.
Well, it's in worst case
10
scenario.
generations, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But 10 generations is not that far behind.
No, and I'm not saying that,
especially if it goes to the extreme. Like I'm saying worst case scenario.
Get more extreme. I am not against any of these technologies and advances. I'm not against.
There goes your big eyeballs.
Except for things in straight, like you don't drink bleach even in moderation. Like you know what I mean.
Use common sense.
All things in moderation, and moderation is different for different people. It's also different for different things.
Right.
And so. Like me, I don't necessarily want to have to deal with the mental aggravation it causes me in certain settings to deal with certain kinds of people. So, wanting to get back into powerlifting right now, I don't want to deal with certain. I don't want to deal with certain gym settings. Right. I also don't want to have to deal with certain time frames. So to get the end result that I want, the best thing for me is to build a home gym. That's not for everybody, but I'm not going to not ever leave my house.
Well, I found in my own personal life
that can't replace good old fashioned outdoor activity. Even one of my favorite things to do is I love to hike when the weather's nice. Just out in nature, I want to hike. I will hike for miles. I use our metro parks here. I use Mill Creek like my bitch.
See, I used to ride like bicycles, just taking the bike trails and riding them.
When I was younger, I did, but I really like to get out there. And I like to go other places besides Mill Creek because Mill Creek you're not supposed to go off the paths, and I like to respect because I want to keep it all for everybody.
Right.
But I like to go to the places where, I'm off the beaten path. I'm I've done parts of the Appalachian Trail before. When my kids are my kids are older and I'm going to have at least one or two of my kids that live with me for a little bit, but they're not going to be my kids' kids anymore. They're going to be adult kids. And I want to take a couple of months, and in springtime, you have to start up north. Because if you start in the south and try your march up north, you start going up north during the colds. You start up north during the spring, so in the fall you end up down south. But I want to do the whole Appalachian Trail. I'm not a mountain climber, but not just, I don't want to hike flat shit. You know what I mean? I like to get out there and actually trek. I like to hike.
I want to see all these so-called UFO sites or whatever, and I always, you
still got to get out there and have natural exercise.
But see, here's the cycle we all get caught in, and I
don't want to go to gyms for the other exercise that are required because we don't live a life where we're out hunting, gathering every day. As technologically advanced as we are, and as we've made our lives easier, we have to replace the healthy things that we gave up for the conveniences.
And that's the problem. Like you just said, you're caught in a cycle.
You can
just
eat
like
McDonald's,
I am.
brother, but you got to work out too.
But you're not getting
When you
it.
used to have to
We're
physically work your ass off just to eat, feed your family, warm your house. When you had to chop firewood just to cook and to keep your house warm in the winter, motherfuckers were in shape.
Yes. But again, like I was trying to say, the cycle that we get caught up in, and I don't really know what causes it, is the convenience of being able to put everything in your own home. Like I found that out, the hard way. I was able to put everything I needed or wanted to do or whatever in my own home, which pretty much I made my own prison. I didn't want to deal with these people, but when you look at it from a different perspective or just kind of stand back and check out the whole situation, like take yourself out of it, put somebody else in it, you need them interactions, whether you like them or not, whether them confrontations are good or bad. You need them to keep going, and when you don't do that, then again you're stuck in your own prison.
I agree.
And I'm there.
And I
I'm
just
not
use
gonna lie.
that one example. Like I said, you do need that. That's why even just us doing this.
Yes.
This is like
This is one of the last few things I got that I leave the house for.
I was not coming. Not because of the bullshit that happened today, but because of the normal shit that happened today. But when the bullshit happened, instead of staying at home and being unhealthy and probably
making things
lashing
worse.
out
Yeah.
on people in the house for no fucking reason because I didn't have a healthy outlet to take care of my mental health, I was like, fuck it. I don't care that I'm late. I don't care that it's an inconvenience. I need to go to this. I mean, I wanted to be here, but as an adult, okay, sometimes you got to.
Yeah.
But it reached a point because of shit that happened out of my control. No, I had to come here tonight
Right.
for this. And I agree with that. I can be guilty of that too. That's also why, we do check on each other. We say shit to each other. And I'm still pissed at you. Because for what?
Bitch.
2-3 weeks now? We were supposed to get together during the day. We were supposed to start.
Actually, I stopped taking my medicine.
I know, that's
Like,
why
all
we're
of
supposed
it.
to do this shit even
And
more.
So I'm actually.
So we know are straight poison.
And then to top it all off, last night my son broke down with his buddy. I was with him till like 2:00 in the morning. Then as soon as I got up, I cracked my eyes open. Somebody else's car broke down. Went and helped them out. Went and grabbed fucking lunch. Came back. Didn't even get a whole burrito down. And my son needed fucking help, so I had to go run to help him. Motherfucker. And then at the end of it all, I had to get ready for the show. So, hey, this is what we get. But yeah, I mean, the convenience of being able to put everything you need. Like, I plan on going back to the gym because I found out I've been paying for a gym membership for 3 years and I haven't been there. But,
Can you bring guests?
yeah.
I'll go with you.
Dude,
but
I
don't
got the
wanna go-
VIP at fucking Planet Fitness. I can get massages and shit. You've seen to get me out of my shit. And
Well,
at my
sometimes
point,
that's how you get out of your own shit.
it took a long time for me to realize what I've become or what I have created because I don't have time to think about myself. I
Right,
never have.
Same for me, bro.
When I was talking to my doctor said, well, are you depressed? I don't know, man. I don't have time to be depressed. I've been a dad since I was fucking 16, 17 years old.
Right.
There was no depressed. If you felt sad, you felt sad. Suck it the fuck up.
Here's what I told my doctor. My doctor said, are you depressed? I said, fuck yeah, but it doesn't matter. Do you have anxiety? Fuck yeah, but it doesn't matter.
See, I just told my doctor, I just want to be able to stay awake.
You just got to be a machine.
Without,
He looked right at me and said, that's the unhealthiest answer I've ever fucking heard.
See, I was that machine, and now I would rather be that machine.
And then the machine breaks at some point because it doesn't get proper maintenance.
Yeah.
Coming from tool and die and coming from a millwright background, just as well as I do. When you don't maintain the machine, the motherfucker breaks. The problem is,
And then parts start getting rusty.
and the bigger, the more powerful the machine, the worse it is when it breaks. I know all about it.
How about My shit is on silent. Everything is muted, and it's still fucking dinging, and it's pissing me off.
Throw it at the wall.
Motherfucker.
Do it now.
I want to see that shit.
Nah.
Whoever that is, if you're listening to this show, fuck you.
It's Ryan. He made up a new thing, you know, instead of
fuck Ryan. Listen.
Instead of his blocking me, you know, when he doesn't like what I have to say, he made a new fucking little picture that says off topic and has my head with an elf hat on it. So
Is he listening?
I don't know if he's listening.
Well, if he is listening, that shit was fucked up tonight on your show.
I didn't get to see it, obviously.
No, listen. He starts talking about the chick. Alexa?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about her with the dude being naked in the background.
Yeah.
Right? And dude had a shirt and shorts on. Like, I seen it, watching it, and I'm driving my truck going down the fucking road. But, you know, don't do that. Illegal. But anyway, so I'm watching that, and then whenever you start talking about the whole situation where his mama was butt naked in the background, he kind of cut you off. And, like, I wanted to comment, but then again, I was driving my truck. So, yeah, it was fucked up.
Well, not only that, he did it again, too, because I wanted to make a point that, you know, and I hate to throw racism or whatever in it, but, you know, I'm tired of hearing about it. So if everybody else is going to talk about it, I'm going to say my point about equality, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's constantly we keep hearing that, you know, black folks don't have the same opportunities. Black folks can't do this and that. The American dream's only for white people. Well, we had a guest on from Australia who said what he did, where he came from. He came from nothing. He worked and worked his ass off. He saved $1,000 and he invested it and he lucked out. And he took that money and he kept doing it. He didn't spend his money on new cars. He didn't spend his money on bullshit. He did it. And now that had nothing to do with color. You know, he would have had a darker tan than me. He's Australian. You know, that is not black, white, whatever. He basically said what you needed to do. So I made the point where, you know, how do you feel when people constantly say that, you know, certain people can't do this or certain people can't do that? Because, you know, I came from the same thing. I had absolutely nothing. When I had a little bit of something, I invested in something. You know, later on in life, something came my way and it was good. But before that, I always did good. You know me, Greg. I always had a car. And it was insured and it was decent. I always had nice clothes. I always had my weed. You know, when there was a party or when there was, you know, I made myself a lifestyle that I liked. Right. And my greed and my strive kept that lifestyle no matter what, legal, illegal. I still did it. Period. Now, it isn't because I was black. It isn't because I was white. It wasn't because I had white friends. It wasn't because I had black friends. It's because I got up off my ass and did what I had to do to not be fucking broke. And because I said something about you don't have to be white to make it, oh my God. You know, first he said that I didn't see the look in the dude's eye that he didn't want to talk about it, and that's why he took me off. But I was looking straight at the dude because I was addressing him. So that had nothing to do with it. But this whole fear and this whole, you know, this is what's making the racism come back. You know, yes, shit was fucked up back in the day. Yes, it's not fixed totally now. But if you keep fucking bringing up this menial bullshit that doesn't really exist, then you keep that fucking racism going.
I literally read an article last night where the author was trying to say that it is impossible to be racist against white people.
What?
Yep, that it doesn't exist.
Dude, if you look into that whole Lincoln Project, and I know a lot of black folks who love that shit because there's a lot of decent information in it, but they take that decent information and they throw it at you in the most racist fucking way. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. The one dude, Greg, from Eargasm, sends me a lot of stuff from the Lincoln Project. And a lot of the stuff I already knew. I did learn a few things. but the way it's being told, I mean, you might as well be told the whole Confederacy story by a racist white person. You know, no, we took care of our slaves, and our slaves weren't slaves. They did this and that. Nigga, you just said slaves. Shut up. Well, you know, if you're saying, yeah, well, the blacks did this good and the blacks did that good, and the white man did this and that, and the white man was bad at home. Yeah, we know that, but the way you're putting it out there was, fuck the white man. No, it's fuck ignorance. Fuck ignorance. They happen to be white, but ultimately they were fucking people and they were fucked up people, and we're trying to stop that. But fucking picking at the scab constantly. Oh my fucking God. It will never heal.
I saw a post, and this is on Instagram, from, when I was remote learning the kids and everything, I started following a lot of those kind of hashtags and people in that, teachers and stuff. This comes from a very popular teacher account, and it was about Black History Month and how there's a black teacher, and I like really dig most of his posts, and this one was that Black History Month needs to be not about just what happened, about slavery, because he was saying that that's all they teach, and I was like, I learned about slavery in U.S. history and world history during Black History Month, since as far back as the 80s that I can remember. The only things I learned about were black inventors,
right.
I learned about. We learned about.
The first thing I remember when Black History Month came up in school was George Washington Carver.
We didn't relearn about slavery. We'd already covered that.
Right. Do you remember George Washington Carver?
Yeah.
That was the first thing I remember from Black History Month. It wasn't about slavery. We learned about slavery in American history because that was American history.
Right.
We got that. It was bad. Bad, we get it. It was bad for the Irish. It was bad for the Israelis. It was bad for everybody involved.
Dude,
it was fucking bad.
The Chinese working the railroad back in the day.
Exactly.
Motherfucker.
Let's
be real here.
Why do you think a lot of Mexicans got cheeky eyes?
Everybody's been exploited at some point in time.
We weren't. We were the shopping mall for the slaves.
We were still exploited by our own people.
Oh, well, no, I take that back. Because like I said, the research from the Taino tribes, we were Native Americans, so I guess our land got taken. Who?
Listen, if you come from Europe and your family was back there during the fucking castle times and shit,
Yeah, you were a peasant or you were a king.
If you weren't the king in the castle, we've all, everybody's been exploited. It's
at one point in time. I mean, even if you go, I was talking presidential lineage a couple weeks ago with some of the guys from the other show. And it showed, how most of these presidents go back and they can be traced all the way back to Vlad the Impaler. Now, these are supposed to be the elites. But, all them elites, like Vlad the Impaler, if you look at the real story of fucking Vlad, even though the Dracula thing, carries him around. No, that motherfucker might have been fucked up. But he got the shit beat out of him. He was treated like a slave. He just wanted to take care of his people, and he figured that the most brutal way of, showing and doing things was the way to take care of his people. He wasn't doing it too much to his own, unless they were fucking up bad, but he would take invaders. They had a town or whatever the fuck you want to call it of maybe 1,000 people, but they had constantly thousands and thousands of people trying to fucking take them over. So what you do, the first 100 people come over, you kill them, you stick a fucking stick through their ass up through their face, boom, they're impaled. You stick that all around the front fucking door. Oh, the next fucking wave that comes through, that's a message. Oh, that's fucking terrible and that's genocide. No. How the fuck else are you supposed to take it? I mean, when it comes down to a survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the Native Americans, we got 10 minutes. Even with the Native Americans, if the white folks never came here, do you know that the Navajo would probably be still bitching at the Shoney's for taking their fucking land where the caribou was? They're still going to be bitching. You know what, motherfuckers? You guys warred. One of you guys made it. One of you guys didn't. Now, before that, somebody else, it's like a football game. You're in a bracket. Eventually, whoever wins the fucking bracket gets whatever land they was hitting for. And you don't get to keep it because next year there's a new fucking season. That easy.
It's human nature.
Right. You know, and that goes back
You're not
to the
going
whole
to get rid of it.
the Mount Rushmore thing, where them ignorant fuckers who are running their mouth about, you know, the Native Americans who their blood and their heritage was on this mountain, and they swore that there would never be fireworks on there, and it's such disrespect. Maybe it was disrespect to the first fucking land of Indians that were there, but bitch, you were the sixth before the white man paid you for that land, and then you guys try to shimdiggle the white guys out of it, and then they just took it. Sorry, your game was fucking slow. You might have been good with the tomahawk, but you weren't good with the fucking pen and paper. You were not that was not your land. That was not your heritage. That was not where you came from. That was where the first fucking clan that eventually got it stole from this number 2, number 3, so you were number 6. You took it from number 5, who took it from number 4. Where the fuck did you originally come from? Somewhere in Oklahoma? Somewhere in Ohio? No, nobody says that shit.
I say it all the time.
You know, ultimately, right now, as we are speaking, anybody who's listening to me in America, who was born in America,
You're Native
don't
American.
let them fool you. You are Native American. You know, there is no rights taken away from indigenous Americans, because that's, I guess, the new word for them. To me, that sounds fucking terrible. But you are not, the indigenous Americans, if they want good schools, if they want good jobs, if they want education, whatever the fuck, all they have to do is drive down the street. You know, the whole days of being on the res and being poor and this and that, well, yeah, you get you a free piece of land. If you don't want to work and keep that land up or build a house or whatever, then yeah, you're going to live like you were back in the fucking, you know, cowboy days. But while old running fucking wolf over here is on the football fields scoring touchdowns and about to fucking make it in, you know, some Ivy League school.
I've started watching a great, it's an older show. I picked it up on Amazon Prime. It's called Mohawk Ironworkers, and it's about the Native American ironworkers from from Canada, and their involvement in originally building the World Trade Center, and then subsequently after the attacks, being there for, you know, the rescue, then the cleanups. They're actually like really well known in that industry. Like they're like for generations have been like some of the baddest iron workers in the fucking world. And watching that is like a perfect, because there's indigenous people that have just hit the bottle and let their shit go.
And the bad thing is
these guys didn't. They became some of the baddest motherfuckers.
And this goes to show you how media goes. You know, media will never show you those people. You know how long has it been since you've seen that documentary? You never heard of that until you've seen it.
I watched it. Did I watch some today? Maybe yesterday.
Right.
But it's from like.
And we don't hear about that though. But we constantly hear about these poor natives who, you know, you would have thought that the fucking Americans gave them blankets yesterday. I think he's just trying. I'm saying more. Supposedly, these casinos are supposed to give back monies to the peoples or of their tribe or whatever.
And I don't think much is getting back here.
You know, I feel like there's going to be here or there.
Their own kind again?
Oh my God. I feel like there are a few that are there, and we will always look at the stereotype as the casino owners, like Vegas owners, you know.
And they're not.
Right. But ultimately, all this shit is over. Slavery is over. You know, the stealing of the land is over. You know, we done gave you a fucking whole state. You know, but nobody gives a fuck. You know, the nobody looked at the fucking logistics of giving that state to just, you know, here you go. But what about the people who live there? And that's the way that went, literally. But look, we are Americans. I don't care what color you are. You know, yeah, you might have a fucked up past. This person has a past. Everybody has their own story. Every culture has its own story. But if you keep making that wound the fucking wound of the day, this and not let it heal, then it's always going to be there. You're never going to get what you want. You know, quit yelling racism because you're making it worse. All right, with that being said, we ran out of time, guys. Much love. Thanks to our new listeners, followers, all the comments, everybody around the world. We love you. The haters, you keep hating, motherfucker. Tell somebody else to hate me, too, so y'all thinking about me. That being said, we out.
See ya.